Alright guys, we're going to apply the first coat of stain. I decided to go with this red mahogany 225. It's the same color that I used on my Polish underfolder AKMS. It's a nice dark color. I think it'll look really good. So I decided to use that. And I'm going to wear these gloves because last time I got this stuff on my hands, it took a while to get off. These are some rubber gloves that I stole in 8th grade science class quite a while ago. So thought I'd use them. I got a whole bunch. Every day I would just take a handful of them. Alright. And I'm going to go with this semi-gloss polyurethane. I've had this thing for like 4 years. It should still be good. I used it on my Wasser 10 that I used to have, and I also used it on... No, that's it, just the Wasser 10. When I did my Polish underfolder, I used a satin coating, but I think I got that stirred up pretty nicely. And some guys use brushes, some guys use those sponge brushes. I just use this cloth. You know, when I was in high school in wood shop, we always just used cloth, and it seems to put it on a little bit more even. You don't get those streaks from the brush, or those globby spots or whatever, so I'm just going to use this. And I might put 2 or 3 coats depending on how it comes out, but I'll start from back here. And whenever you do this, make sure you take off like all the screws and all the metal parts. Yeah, I think this will come out pretty good. And you always want to go with the grain of the wood. Just soaks it up better and it makes it look nicer. And I'll do one side of the rifle, I'll let it dry, and I'll do the other side. I don't think this stain really takes that long to dry. Actually, the first coat, I haven't done this in a while, the first coat you want to put on kind of thick. And then you let it sit for like, I think like 10 minutes maybe, and then you get a dry cloth and you wipe off the excess. I think that's what you're supposed to do, so I guess that's what I'll do. You know what, maybe if I just stand this up like this, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. Yeah, you can't see it real well. I might even just do it like this so I can just get the whole rifle coated. I'll have to adjust the camera in a minute. Here, hold on a minute. Alright, I accidentally hit the off button when I did that. I'm just going to do the whole stock at once so you don't really see any lines where the 2 separate sides dried separately. Like I said, the first coat, I'll put it on kind of thick, and I'll just wipe off the excess. I like using a cloth better than a brush. Now for the polyurethane, you have to use a brush. I don't even know if I have any sponge brushes. I might have to use a regular one. But whenever it comes to this kind of stuff, you know, I really recommend using oil-based polyurethane. I know that the water-based, you know, for what you're doing, it's probably going to be okay, and it dries a lot faster. But really, though, the oil base is the way to go. It really takes like days to cure, but really, I mean, you should be patient. All right, here's the first coat. Just going to let the rifle balance itself, and it looks like I got everywhere pretty good. I got to get up here actually. I saw that. Okay. And that looks pretty good. Alright, so I'll let that dry. And we'll be back for... Actually, I'm going to let it sit for 10 minutes and I'll wipe off the excess. You guys don't have to see me do that. Just let it, if you're going to do this, let this sit for like 10 minutes or so, and then get a clean cloth and lightly wipe it down to get the stain that did not penetrate the wood. And then after that, you can apply a second coat that's a little bit lighter, and then just keep applying coats until you get the color you like. This is looking pretty good, but once I wipe off the excess, it will lighten it a little bit, so I'll probably have to do a second coat. I'll show you the second coat, me applying it, and then we'll let that dry, and then we'll do the polyurethane. Alright, see you soon. Alright, I just wiped off the excess from the first coat, and this is what we're left with. Looks pretty good. I want it to be a little bit darker though, so I'm going to put another coat on. And if you look, like where the wood filler is, you can kind of see it pretty easily. Same with the top. That's not a huge concern. I know that no matter how many coats of stain that I put on this thing, you're always going to be able to see that. But hopefully if I make it a little bit darker, it won't be quite as noticeable. Even if not, it's not a big deal. But there it is. That's one coat. And even when you put the polyurethane on it, that even makes it a little bit darker as well. So I'm gonna stir my stain up real quick. Alright. And I don't know if I said this or not, but after every coat of stain, it's still a good idea to wipe off the excess. The first coat though is the one you want to put on pretty heavy, because you want the first coat to really penetrate that wood. And actually, I'm not even sure how long I'm supposed to wait after, once I decide, or once I think that it's dark enough. I don't know how long I have to wait after the last coat of stain before I can put the polyurethane on, so I'm going to have to read on that. And just to be safe, I'm really in no rush for this. I might wait 12 hours, I really don't know. I'm in absolutely no hurry. And that's the way you want to be when you're doing something like this. If you're in a rush, it won't come out good. I'm really trying to get a lot of stain where the wood filler is. Really want it to soak up that color. So I'm going to concentrate quite a bit in those areas. I'll just finish up the rest here. It's coming out pretty good. And you really want it to be even as much as you can on both sides. Okay, this is looking good for the second coat. So I'll let that sit on there for, 10 minutes or so. Wipe off the excess and we'll see how it looks. I'll be right back. Alright, it's been about 24 hours since I put the last coat on. It's pretty much dry now. This is pretty much the color I wanted. It's dark enough, but if you look, the wood, the grain of it, there are going to be some spots that are just going to be lighter. There's nothing you can do about it. Overall, it's pretty good, but you can kind of see that there's just some spots that are going to be lighter, so kind of expect that. I don't even know what kind of wood this is, but it's not a big deal. So we're going to apply the first coat of polyurethane. It's just this semi-gloss. This stuff's pretty old. It's like I don't know, maybe 4 years old. And this is the brush I'm going to use. It's not the best in the world. It's good to use natural fiber bristle brushes, but this is all I have. So I'm just going to apply first coat. And once again, you want to go with the grain of the wood. And it's kind of hard, but try not to let bubbles form. So if you see any bubbles forming, just go over them again. Just takes time. You want to make sure you get up to the edge. Like right up here, make sure you get right up to the edge. Because if you don't, it can affect the quality of it, because if there's a space where the polyurethane ends and then there's bare wood, it can kind of like chip off, I guess. I heard that somewhere. So just make sure it covers the whole thing. Try to get it nice and even. If you look at it from like an angle, you can't see it on camera, but I'm looking at it, and just make sure the whole surface looks even. If you see blotches anywhere where it's like higher than others, you just want to smooth it out. So this side looks pretty good right now. Okay. I try to rotate it here. Like that. And we'll do this side. And after this coat dries, I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but once it's dried, you want to get really, really fine steel wool, like 4/0 steel wool maybe, and you just want to lightly go over the first coat, so that when you put the second coat on, the first coat won't be real smooth, and it'll give it something to grab onto, and it makes it stronger. So I'm looking here. And then you want to get up right here on the edge, but you don't really want to get it in this channel where the barrel sits. So, just be careful. And if you do get it down there, just get a cloth and wipe it out as soon as you can. Right here I see it dripping a little bit, so I'm just going to smooth it out. And I think I got it all. Just got to do the top right here. You guys aren't going to be able to see this part, but I'm just going to do the top. Trying to do this without making this top fall. There's really no other place to grab onto it, so I'm just letting it balance while I do the part that I was holding onto initially. I think I got it. Alright, so first coat's on there. Let me see if it even says. It should say how long it'll take. Let dry 3 to 4 hours. Then lightly sand entire surface with fine sandpaper. We're going to use steel wool. And proper adhesion. Remove all dust. Then apply second coat. And then a third coat if desired. Okay. So we're going to let that dry 3 to 4 hours. It's probably going to take longer than that because it's kind of cold outside and I'm in my garage with the garage door open. So we'll give it, I might even give it a day, I don't even know. I just want it to dry real good, so see you soon. Alright guys, it's been about another 24 hours after I put on the first coat of polyurethane. Once again, this is the semi-gloss. Yeah, it's dry to the touch. Last night, after about maybe 7 hours, it was actually a little bit tacky. The can says, 3 hours it should be good, but 8 hours it was tacky. So I just let it dry overnight, and it's been about 24 hours now, and it's dry. It's not tacky at all, and that's only one coat. And actually, I see a few spots that I kind of didn't get polyurethane on very well. So, yeah, like right there, you guys probably can't see that, but I'm gonna make sure I get that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this 000 steel wool, and I'm gonna lightly go over this first coat of polyurethane to kind of rough it up a little bit, so that when I apply the second coat, it'll give it something to really grab onto. And then, if I'm satisfied with the way it looks, that'll be it. If not, I'll apply a third coat, but I'm going to say 2 coats will probably be okay. So here we go. Just going to lightly, and you don't want to scrub, and just go in one direction. Just lightly, kind of make it dull looking. Right now it's kind of shiny. When you're done, it should just look kind of dull. Yeah, I don't know how I missed that. Jeez. I guess when I'm talking on the camera, I'm not paying attention as much as I should. Yeah, you don't gotta apply too much pressure. You just want to take off the shine. This is actually a very simple procedure. This will be the 4th gun that I've refinished. The first one I refinished was my Wasser 10 back in 2009. The second gun was my dad's H&R M1 Grand. The third one was my Polish underfolder. And then the 4th one is this one. But the M1 Grand, I didn't put a semi-gloss on that one. We stained it, and then I'm trying to think, I forget exactly. I think there was like a military type wax that we rubbed into the wood to give it that look that it's supposed to have. But the Wasser 10, I used semi-gloss just like this. In my Polish underfolder, I used a satin, or a clear satin coating. Just trying to make sure I don't miss any spots here. Alright, it's looking pretty good. So let me get the clear coat out. I'll be right back. Alright, something I forgot to say, after you get the steel wool and you rub it down, make sure you get like a wet cloth, or they actually sell these pads that are adhesive, and you rub the wood with it and it picks up all the leftover shavings from the steel wool. I don't have those, so I just got a damp cloth and wiped it down, and then I just got a dry cloth, wiped it dry, so there's no metal shavings. Okay, that can really screw up the polyurethane. So I got a brush. I'm just going to try to apply a second coat as even as I can. These brushes really aren't the best, but that's all I have. Kind of have to short stroke it here. They sell really good brushes for this, but you know, I don't do this very often, so I just got a cheap set. And these brushes suck. They even have like foam brushes. They're not even brushes, they're like foam wedges on a handle. I guess those would work pretty good. Yeah, this brush really doesn't hold on to the polyurethane very well, so I kind of have to really work it in there. So you guys get the idea. You just apply the second coat. I pretty much got this side done. Apply the second coat, let it dry, and if it looks good, you can just stay with that. If not, repeat the steel wool process, apply a third coat, and pretty much do that until you get the desired look you want. So I'll be right back. Alright, the second coat is on. It's probably going to take, another 24 hours to dry completely, so it doesn't feel tacky. And I gotta tell you, a rifle stock is actually pretty tricky to do. Like doing an AK, it's so much easier. When you got like a full rifle stock, it's very tricky because it's kind of hard to hold on to it while you're getting the whole thing. And, just a lot more to pay attention to, but, it's coming out pretty good. Just let it dry, and hopefully it'll be good. So it'll be pretty nice when it's nice and glossy. So, let it dry and I'll see you soon. Alright, here we are. It's been 4 hours since the second coat was applied, and it's dry to the touch. It's really not tacky at all. I think what I'm going to do is let it dry like 100%, and I'll wait till like tomorrow. There's a few spots on here that I kind of want to touch up on this side. I mean, this is like just very, very little tacky. It's hardly at all, but just slightly. There's a few spots that I kind of want to touch up. You can't really see them on camera, but one more coat will do it, and that'll be pretty much done. Right now though, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to work on the barrel and the receiver, so I'll be back in a minute. Okay, here we go. I know that I said before that I was going to use heat resistant primer. I kind of started thinking about it. This is a 22 rifle. It's bolt action. It has a 5-round magazine. So it's really not going to be getting hot from shooting it. So I really don't have to worry about that. And I kind of had this just laying around. Rust-Oleum Professional Primer. I used this on an air gun that I had, and it seemed to work really well. So it's not like this is an AR-15 or anything where it's going to be getting really hot. I already have this shooken up. You want to shake it for about a minute. And here we go. Now I might need to apply, well, I think the primer just one coat, probably. So, let me get this switched around. Alright. Now I have the internals taped up, like all the springs and the levers. Just the receiver, pretty much the part that's exposed, and then the rest of the barrel is what I'm gonna spray paint. Also the trigger, it used to be like a stainless. I'm gonna spray paint that as well. It's looking pretty good. Alright, got the primer on there. I'll let that dry, and then we'll do the black Rust-Oleum. This right here, Rust-Oleum camouflage. It's a flat black. I used this stuff on an air gun that I had. The same primer I just used, and this I used. When it dries, it looks very similar to a parkerization. It's pretty cool, actually. I might even show you the pistol that I did, but it's pretty good stuff, pretty durable. So we'll let this dry, and then we'll be back. Alright, I painted these parts about an hour ago, so they still have about 3 hours before I can use the black Rust-Oleum, but the barrel and the receiver have dried overnight, so it's been about 24 hours. It only takes 4, but I got kind of busy yesterday, so just let it dry overnight. So now we are going to use this, and I already have it shooken up and everything. So here we go. Alright, this stuff's getting a little bit low. I've used it in the past for other things, but so far it looks alright. So I'm going to turn the camera off and see if there's any spots that I missed. So see you later. Okay, while we're waiting for the barrel and the receiver to dry from the black Rust-Oleum, I thought I'd show you the stock. I ended up putting a third coat on it. There were a few spots on it that I did not really like the way it turned out, so I just repeated the step with the steel wool. Lightly rubbed the whole thing down. And then I was having trouble because I was using these cheap brushes. Then I tried this natural fiber, or natural bristle brush, and it worked a lot better, but it was leaving bubbles whenever I was stroking the wood. So I went with this, and this works a lot better. This makes it so much easier. It really gives it an even coat, and you can't even tell, where I was stroking the wood with it. Okay, so if you're going to use polyurethane, this is what you want. Made it so much easier. I wish I had that from the beginning, but this will be the last coat. I put this on about 2.5 hours ago. Haven't even touched it yet, just going to let it dry. And yeah, like I said, this is semi-gloss. It's turning out really good, nice and dark. Really came out nice. So just thought I'd update you on the stock. And once everything's done, we'll be putting this back together. See ya. Alright, here it is all put back together. It really came out good, I think. The wood's nice. The Rust-Oleum worked out pretty good. Kind of looks like it's parkerized. Looks really good. I tried to polish, well, not polish. I tried to get this bolt right here, right where it shows. I got some really strong lead remover, like on a cloth, and I really rubbed it down, but I just couldn't get it exactly the way I wanted to. I don't know if you can tell, but it looks good. Here's the side of the rifle. The wood really came out great. There's the bottom of it. Magazine. There's only one thing I did wrong. Before I even refinished it, I never took this thing out to shoot it. So there is a possibility that there could be something wrong internally. I doubt it though. I dry fired it. I think it's gonna work. But before you refinish a gun that you just got, you might want to take it out and shoot it just to make sure it works. I didn't do that, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, it really came out good. Now the wood feels great. It feels very professionally done. There's the butt plate. I can still clean that up a little bit more. But yeah, man. Turned out really good. So what, I think I ended up putting 3 coats of the polyurethane on the wood. It turned out really, really good. Even the metal, that Rust-Oleum. So I'm happy with it. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. See if I can give you guys a closer look at it. Turned out really, really good. So yeah, there it is, all put back together. I'm happy with it. Okay, see you later.